And what is our first of two series planned for today? The following series, we're actually going to be covering a CiC versus the same Willowkeeper team. So definitely looking forward to that as well. But obviously, we got this series still to finish up. And speaking of that, draw my mini-mag out once again, and we see right here the bands coming out: Ophelia, Kronos, Rhapsody, Torturer. So again, kind of those support heavies. But Puppet Master going to be first picked by Willowkeeper because he's not banned. You see the Empath response coming out, and then Swiftblade from Willowkeeper. So that's almost kind of, we're taking it away from you guys kind of pick.
I guess Fusion maybe backtracked and saying Swiftblade tri-lanes aren't that strong because
Yeah.
got kind of I don't know, it wasn't that it wasn't the biggest impact that Swiftblade had, but I mean I think probably the Bombardier was maybe a stronger impact, but Swiftblade tri-lane's still really strong obviously with Empath. I think the Glacius was obviously a strong pick as well against the Rally to stop him compelling, but either way he picked up the Swiftblade, making sure BMG don't get that Swiftblade and Empath combo. But instead BMG's going to pick up Drunken Master, and Drunken Master Empath is arguably stronger actually. Maybe not in the laning phase, but in terms of mid game and late game, that hero can dish out so much damage with Empath inside him. So.
You see Bubbles then coming out for Willowkeeper, so staying away from their support options for the time being. But, yeah, they got the Bubbles out of the way. But, already with Rhapsody and Torture being banned, it's safe to say that Willowkeeper may even focus a couple more bans here on support options. So Willowkeeper's options perhaps could be limited. But at the same time, he's speaking of supports, and especially kind of maybe a little different supports. Remember what happened with good old Riftwalker. When he was playing wait, wasn't that against BMG? That was that series, right? Yeah, that was that game one that that epic play against. That's right. So I kind of wonder if BMG has that in the back of their mind here, specifically Handskin may come about, but we'll see. We'll see if that happens here. But obviously that entailed more of almost like a jungling Riftwalker with the creep pull there. So.
That's what they normally play. I don't know if they're going to actually run the same sort of style, but with the Swiftblade actually, because it could still work. Like I talked about how when Tree did it, they'd have like the Magnus or the Riftwalker. So even after the creeps died, you can still jungle because of their passive ability, and Swiftblade can still do that. I mean, I've seen Swiftblade jungle like at level 1, and obviously with having the creeps, he can probably get into level 2, level 3, which would help him jungle even better. But I haven't actually seen Tree play this kind of like have Puppet Master and Swiftblade on the same team, so I'm not 100% sure what they're going to do actually. They picked up the Bubbles, and because all the other supporters really taken, Rhapsody was banned, Torture was banned, and Empath was picked up, so they're going to try and maybe pick up their support in the second picking phase. They really do like their Luna actually, they really rate that support really quite high. In comparison to sort of Rhapsody and Torturer, so if that's not banned, they'll probably pick that up. But we see BMG pick up the Bombardier though, worked for him last game, so why not give it a second go?
Yeah. Exactly. So, and it's safe to say it worked very well last game. Again, he picked up the Annihilation on top of that bloodbath streak and everything. And obviously, overall finished very, very well for Lim. So, looking to get more play on that once again. Again, understandable, especially if they possibly think they are going to be going up against a Tri-Lane, which again is very, very possible with that Swiftblade pickup coming out. So, these bans now going to be happening. Pestilence initially banned. That's kind of interesting. Not your everyday ban, but.
We haven't seen Pestilence in ages, actually. After he got that nerf, like, to his stun, like, he's really fallen off, actually. I mean, I think the hero's still good, and it obviously can work even better with Drunken Master because of the physical presence. But, yeah, definitely dropped off. But we see another ban on Behemoth, actually, which sort of tends to make me believe that they might go for another tri-lane. They probably will pick up another support and maybe another hero to go in the tri-lane, because I think Drunken and Bombardier will be the two solos. Yeah. Maybe put Bombardier short lane and Drunken mid, just in case they do have to rotate a dual support mid. It's a lot better to dual mid with a Drunken Master than Bombardier, obviously. Yeah.
We take out Engineer there as well. Chipper being banned by Willowkeeper, so I almost want to say that's kind of it's Chipper and Bombardier. That'd be crazy explosions all over the place, but. Just in case. Though. Yeah, I mean, Jonas Span could play the Chipper and then limp on Bombardier. That wouldn't be out of the question. So, just saying that we don't want to have to deal with that. So, yeah, we'll see what the third and final ban is. But, again, not a huge surprise. You mentioned the Behemoth and the Engineer to follow. More support kind of style-heavy bans here coming out from Bad Monkey Gaming, at least. So now it's going to be the question of where does Willowkeeper go? They've been right-clicking a couple of different heroes here, including Arachna. I doubt that's going to be coming out.
Yeah, I mean, that would work.
But who knows? Maybe this is another one of these games. Let's just try something completely radical, knowing that we're going up against a very good team in BMG and hope for the best. But Flux is going to be their final ban.
Yeah, that's actually quite a good ban, actually, because we saw Phlox trialing before, although it was paired with Warbeast. When Zinc played it, it was incredibly strong, actually. Like, because the hero is so strong and so heavy and so tanky, because he's a strength hero, but at the same time he's a ranged hero as well. So the sort of presence he has in the lane is rather absurd. So that's pretty just to ban that out, because I think Fusion's in the same mindset that I think BMG are going to pick up another farmer in the tri lane and have Drunken and Bombardier in the solos.
Yeah.
So he just wants to take out the Phlox there. In terms of the other pick here, I think they definitely need the support. I think Aluna will be picked up because he's on the board. They do like the Aluna pickup. I don't have to pick up now or the 5th pick, but I don't know what they're actually going to try and do, though, because they'd either need... Okay, they pick up the Sliver. That's going to be second support Sliver, most likely. But yeah, this tree lineup though is looking a little bit funky, so I'm not 100% sure whether they're going to lane it or do with it. But,
yeah, I think it really does go back to that second pick. It's like that was definitely more of a, well, crap, we don't want to give them the Swiftblade Empath because that's just, again, a dangerous tri lane. We're going to go Swiftblade ourselves, but now how does that affect you? Because you already had a Puppet Master, so one of those is probably going to end up solo. I mean, I guess they could just run the 2-2-1 in the end, and that probably makes more sense. But
I mean, they could even do the Swiftblade trialing on their own, but I don't know. Just awkward a little bit. Yeah, definitely that Swiftblade was definitely a pickup though, just to make sure BMG didn't pick it up, because they would have definitely picked up if they had the opportunity to. At the same time, the Drunken Master is actually quite a strong pickup against Swiftblade because obviously his Q goes through his spin, or Drunken Master's what's it called, lunge goes through Swiftblade's Blade Frenzy because of physical presence. But yeah, I think the Sliver is definitely going to be pretty paired with the Swiftblade. They might even pick up another support here, maybe a Luna, and then maybe run the Trialing, but it's not even the strongest at the same time. BMG obviously follow up with the Glacier, so I definitely think they're going to Trialing. They've got their 2 supports, and I think they're going to pick up another hero. Magnus is on the board, actually. That's fans right-clicking that, so that could definitely be a pickup, actually. Both of these teams really love the Magnus, though, so I'm kind of surprised none of them picked up Kinesis, though. Okay.
Oof. Yeah, that's different. I mean, again, I think interesting thing about Kinesis, CiC, or KZ specifically, he is one out of his top 3 most played heroes so far in this event. Kinesis is actually up in his top 3 because of the amount of times they've actually played it over there. So I know that they've definitely been a fan of running it recently. But yeah, it's being seen and picked up here as more of a, I'm guessing, are they going to run a support puppet? Is that what we're going to see here?
I guess so. I mean, I have seen them play support puppet, but it's not the strongest in the laning phase though, because it doesn't really have any burst or any stun potential. So if they could get out of the laning phase, obviously the hero's really strong. Boxy on that, so I think they might even do the aggressive tri-lane though, because like if Boxy's on the Sliver, he can't really can't go suicide, so he'll have to be put Sliver short, bubbles mid, and then go aggressive tri-lane. But Kraken limp, oh man, this brings me back to the good old days.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not going to play the Bombardier this time around, but yeah, you think of Kraken, you think of arguably the best Kraken we've ever seen, and Limp is definitely on there on that list. You can almost safely say even number 1. I mean, his Kraken play is pretty damn good to say the least. So they are going to swap it up last second, but no, so it is still going to be a Puppet Master support because Ruta Z is also there, so like kind of the secondary support player on top of that. So they just kind of swap up between the two. Fusion and Ruta Z are both their supports. So yeah, it is going to be that support Puppet Master as you're kind of stating. I mean, this isn't completely out of the question, and we've talked about it. Most certainly has potential to be a viable support option with that crowd control that he brings to the table. It's just a matter of his maybe the initial laning phase, especially a little bit weaker than you like it to be. But with that all said too, this isn't they don't really have any. I mean, they don't really have a crazy reliable stun. I mean, Stasis Smash, sure, but again, it mitigates damage and whatnot. You got Puppet Show, but that can't always be guaranteed that that's going to work. So, you don't really have any guaranteed stun here coming on the Legion side.
Yeah, it's just a little bit awkward, really. But they're going to send the Suicide Kinesis and then obviously run the defensive tri-lane. But BMG don't even want to face it, though. They're going to put the Drunken Master down there. And they're going to end up dual laning mid with the Bombardier, which isn't too bad, but at the same time it's a little bit awkward because obviously you're reducing Bombardier's levels. And but it's actually not that bad though, because they're not going to face another dual mid themselves. If they were facing like another dual mid, like say like a hooker, then it might be a problem because they could easily just get picked off time and time again. But against the solo bubbles, they should be doing fine. And I think actually Tree might pull actually here. If they see like they're not going to go against the Tron, they probably will pull, but I don't think they've been given the vision yet to know that Drunken Master's down here.
Yeah, you see, in fact, Jonas Fenn even placing that Ward of Sight. Not your everyday Ward of Sight spot, to be honest. Usually it's even a little bit, in fact, where Fusion's places is, but at the same time, it gets him that information that he needs in terms of whether or not he's being ganked or flanked or whatnot, and He's going to be fine, though, for the time being. Yeah, as he said, I don't even know if they've realized that that is the case. I mean, no one's coming into the jungle, so you almost think that Willowkeeper would even pick up on that, if anything. But BMG, they're playing it very, very safe here, and understandably so as far as their lane setup goes. Now, Drunken Master, again, he's going to start to push up, but he has the ward of sight in case the gank is being set up. He's just, in fact, going to hug the lane here and start falling back the second he realizes they might be coming in for him. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see now what kind of rotation we see coming out more specifically of Willowkeeper, because yeah, you got Bubbles. Usually you don't want to lane with him, but you're almost kind of in that position. Do you send somebody to lane with Bubbles here? As, oh my god, he takes a lot of damage.
Yeah, they're going to start pulling. You see, Podmaster already going in for the pull already, which might even make sense though, because they can't really dual mid with the Bubbles. I mean, they're dual midding with the Bombardier, but it's a little bit easier than dual midding with the Bombardier than it is with the Bubbles, because they have at least some sign of stun with Bombardier's Q. As Bubbles is all by himself pretty much, and I don't think I don't think Tree really like to dual mid at all. Really, they like to have that solo. If it's going to be Cracky on his Flux or Bubbles on just the Bubbles pretty much. But we see the pull here coming out from Pubmaster, and they're going to get somewhat decent farm actually, because they're going against no junglers coming from BMG. So if it keeps it how it is, and Drunken doesn't get too much, I think actually Tree might be ahead in terms of golden XP actually.
Yeah, if I remember correctly too, you mentioned it might have been Willowkeeper, the one that ran that support kind of Puppet Master, and it was in a game that ended up going a little bit later on, but their Puppet Master still was building more of just a support utility style rather than ever developing into more of that carry and eventually being able to take over the game. So I kind of almost hope for their sake that if it obviously as the game progresses on, that especially with what he's doing here, he's able to get some okay farm because of the situation. So what kind of progression he has here?
That was the reason. It was a Reason game. I can't remember who they were against, but I definitely know it was Reason because it was Saint playing the support Puppet Master.
Right, yeah.
It might have been against CiC, perhaps. I'm not 100% sure yet, but we saw him go like Tablet and like Hellflower, and it was like, well, it was getting to like the 40-minute mid lane actually. Bubbles might be in trouble. Nice.
He's going to shell surf away again. Well, Sticky Bomb's going to do some damage, but.
But yeah, it was getting to like the mid to late game, and they didn't really have a carry yet. Though it was running like a sort of Popper Master, and we talked about how we would like to see maybe top lane Kinesis might be in trouble.
He can maybe get himself killed by neutrals. No, he's not even to go for that. He thinks he can actually escape right here, but I don't know about this. And actually, Galatia's not going the best. Okay, he tries at the last second, but Sioke gets credit for the bloodlust kill when it's all said and done. So Boxy trying to make the escape, but yeah, a little too much pressure being put on that. A lot to do with the the empath wall coming out on top of it all. So we'll play bottom lane. Him and Drunken Master kind of going back and forth, but obviously not a whole lot done in the end right there. But yeah, Boxy and Kinesis, he is a fragile suicide to say the least. And he has potential because of that telekinetic lift, or control I should say, but he's not the greatest at escaping, I guess is where I'm getting at.
No, and it's kind of like a fragile, suicide. Like compared, he doesn't really have a set escape mechanism either. So if he gets a little bit too aggressive, then he can easily get picked up, as we see here in the top lane. I mean, and also he's not really going against like a usual short lane either. Normally we see like a hard carry in the short lane, but you see Kraken here, and that has a lot of stronger lane presence than say a hard carry. So it's going to be even harder for Kinesis to really lane up here.
Yeah.
He's going to be trying to get some kind of these neutral creeps up here, which would be kind of big if he can get some last hits here.
Yeah. So we see right here,
Kraken's coming over though.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be collapsing right here. Yep, Kinesis, he gets collapsed on. He throws a stasis smash on himself to mitigate the initial damage, but it's probably not gonna matter. He gets walled off into the trees. That's pretty brutal right there. But again, nothing you could ultimately do in the end. So again, speaking of Kinesis being a fragile suicide hero, obviously that's just another case of that there. And it simply just gets caught out as he's trying to roam a little bit. Sticky Bomb going to miss right there, but you do got Drunken Master. If that Sticky Bomb hit, it probably would be going in at this point. But even without it, he's still going to lunge in. In comes that freeze. There's the pushback, and the auto attacks to follow. And the stagger to finish it off. So, Jonas Fan, any great suicide player will tell you, and we see all the time, if you're not getting a whole lot done in your suicide lane, which is understandable, start moving. And that's exactly what Jonas Fan does right there.
Yeah, and BMG just really come out ahead in this laning phase because we see a lot of rotation. Obviously, you see Jonas Fan going mid and Glacius even coming top to secure the kill on Kinesis. And those sort of rotations do make a difference, particularly in lanes or games where lanes are normally static. And also, like, Tree haven't really been able to do much because the heroes they've got, they expected the trying to come out from BMG, and BMG wisely just didn't take it, and now they're punishing Tree because of the way they sort of drafted. And I mean, Puppet really hasn't been involved at all because he's been sort of farming, the jungle, and Sliver isn't the strongest of boxing supports now because Drunken was sort of 1v1 against Swiftblade. Top lane actually, he's going to go down as well.
I mean, he's doing his best to somehow survive here, but even with that effort, I mean, Boxy, he's almost kind of away. Kraken trying to chase him down, doesn't have enough mana for any charge hit or anything, but it doesn't matter. The splash out of attack costs 0 mana, and he gets in range to throw that up and easily finish off Boxy in the end. So, yeah, I mean, that dive happened for a while there, but Boxy doing everything he can. Obviously not enough. Drunken Master, though, in the meantime, he's trying to pick up the kill. They will get the kill to Slither because of the airstrike, but now Drunken Master, he's kind of left behind. Throws out a stagger right here. Going to try to juke and jive a little bit. Has that mana better? Yes, he is going to actually live. And now the middle lane, speaking of diving, they dive yet again. And Bubbles goes down. This is just got to be so frustrating if you're a Willowkeeper here.
BMG is just so aggressive. Like, they don't even want to kill creeps. They just want to kill heroes, like as their CS. Like, they don't care where the hero is. They'll find it, and they'll get like more heroes than the enemy team, and just put them. Just go find hero kills. Bottom lane, Drunken going in on Puppet Master as well.
Are they? Oh, he's way down here. Jesus. I was like looking at the bottom lane. I'm like, where is? Oh yeah, no, he's all the way down there. He gets the kill onto on a Puppet Master, and now he's starting to fall back. But yeah, he might not even need to. Untouchable goes off. He's going to stand his ground right here and Slither. He needs to start kiting away. Drunken Master, though, he should be fine in the end. Bubbles does not have a kill field. He's still level 5. So that'll be an easy getaway coming out for a Drunken Master. So 7 minutes into the game now, and as you said, it's like they're just farming heroes at this point. They don't even care about the creeps. They're a lot more focused on those heroes, and it's working. 7-0 to start here as we're 7 minutes into the game. So it's Willowkeeper still simply just looking for their first hero kill. I mean, you're trying to find some positives. I mean, the big positive is Baltazar. This guy, he's actually, I was just doing the stats today. I want to say he's 3rd overall in actually GPM throughout the cycle number 2. In fact, it's kind of interesting because you got Fuzi's first place, and then Limp is actually 2nd, go figure, on goal per minute. But then actually 3rd is Baltazar in terms of goal per minute. But still, the point being, this guy knows how to farm and does very well at that, as we see again here. So, I mean, that's a hope at least.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they have probably arguably the stronger late game as well, because the 2 supports coming out from Sliver and Puppet could easily rotate into carries. But at the same time, BMG's got such an advantage in the laning phase, and I've talked about that. Although one team might have the superior late game, the other team, although they might not have the superior late game, if they get the higher XP and the higher, have the better late game because of just the items and the levels they have over their opponents. Swiftblade might be getting a kill on this empath.
And they're gonna jump onto him, and Swift Flashes does get the kill. So there you go, even more farm coming out for him. So, and you see right here, goes right to the triple stack camp in the meantime. So yeah, doing a great job of that as well. Is this Legion team as a whole? Now you got in the meantime the other 3 heroes kind of off to the side doing another triple stack camp. But here comes Drunken Master, actually. Oh, this is big because Swiftblade is solo on life. Drunken Master notices that, staggers, and has the lunge. That's, again, it's just one of those cases that's going to just be so frustrating. Exactly. Just wrong place at the wrong time. Airstrike comes out. They finish off Kraken there on Bubbles. And the wall to kind of block off Kinesis. He walks right into the trap. And there's pretty much no chance he's getting away from this one, as he's eventually going to be picked off. And then, yeah, in the meantime, Jonas Fan is continuing his reign as he gets another kill. Man, I hate to say it, but it's just BMG just really on fire today.
Yeah, and they're just crushing the laning phase so hard. Like BMG really took advantage of the weak laning phase coming out from Tree. We talked about how Puppet and Sliver aren't the strongest of laners, and BMG, if they see a slight disadvantage, they will exploit that to the max, and that's what we're seeing here. 6,000 golden XP already just in the 9 minutes because of the amount of hero kills they've got, and they might even get more actually here. Empath on Sliver here.
Yeah, this is kind of just a back and forth coming at you, but Empath, he's like, you know what, you can do all those auto attacks you want, you're only level 3, I got an Essence Link up, and I got a teammate coming in as well. And he eventually gets there. Now Bombardier gets held in place. There's a kill field even on top of that. He's very low on mana, so not the most damage going to be coming out from him. But here comes Drunken Master, and he has plenty of damage, as we see. Bubbles easily gets picked off, and now Puppet Master, again, going to be on the run. He has those steam boots, actually, but just not enough. He eventually falls. Kinesis at least able to come in and clean up, but at what cost there? Stasis smash onto himself. He's trying to make the getaway. Nice wall up again. Empath, specifically Handskin, he's really on top of the walls here in between these both games. Here in this two-game series so far, but it's just, you know, what more else is there to say? This is just turning it, just like last game, into just a complete bloodbath here. And just constant farming, constant action of hero fighting, and it's just constantly in favor of Bad Monkey Gaming is the ultimate point here. They're still going at it. I mean, this is just turning into a mid-wars now at this point. They're kind of just porting in to fight them here.
But that's kind of like the style of BMG, that they just want to keep fighting, just keep farming like heroes pretty much. They just don't let off the gas. Like, and they're kind of sort of running, like we talked about how the mirror matchup as well, kind of almost with Tree as well, and they're not stopping. Like once BMG have got their items, they're just going to try and find hero kills whenever possible.
Yeah.
And they're just getting the kills because, like we talked about the laning phase, obviously, of Puppet and Sliver, and if they have a weak laning phase, then BMG are just going to take advantage of that, and now they're so far ahead. I mean, obviously, the kind of draft that Fusion's gone for is like, I think he has something in mind of like maybe a mid game to sort of in late game as well. And he had a set mind of what the lanes were going to be. He's like, okay, it's going to be a tri lane, so we'll pick these heroes and pick these heroes. But BMG had probably the more versatile heroes, and now they could lane it, you know, the way they wanted and the way that would be favourable to them. As a result, they had the superior laning phase, and now that's the reason why we're seeing them such a lead with golden XP, and they're not stopping with kill. Sliver got in trouble as well.
He's just like, well, I was trying to pull the camper. I don't even know what, because it's not even a minute mark, but in that area, maybe trying to counter ward it or something, but yeah, he doesn't rep for it. So I was going for the counter ward, but obviously the problem with that is that you can be seen because you're trying to counter ward a warder's sight, so that's kind of the dangerous part of it. And you see right there, it kind of backfires. On top side, Drunken Master at least will get picked up with a glacial down prod to the side. In comes the airstrike. And those two heroes, they are no longer there anymore. We do see Puppet Master being chased down. Again, the play-by-play is getting to a point of just like, is there even a point anymore? Because BMG is just on fire, 23 to 3 hero kills. And that was another thing I noticed. Again, I was kind of updating on stats today. As a big shout out to Quincy, as always, for gathering these stats. And even if I don't happen to use them on Honcast, I mean, the dude just gathers in just for the sake because he enjoys it and, you know, to show off to the community and everything. So definitely deserves big shout outs. But BMG had several of the top kill plus assist to death ratio players throughout all of Cycle 2 so far. And I guess that's kind of just backing it up right here. Yeah. Not really a surprise at the same time. So I think it's safe to say we're going to be waiting for that counter to hit 15 minutes. And then this is going to be it for game 2.
And I just think the main reason is just, you know, the weak laning phase coming from Tree, and BMG just simply exploited it. And although Tree might have had a good lineup in terms of, you know, the mid to late game, it wasn't going to get there because of what BMG, you know, were forcing. And just Tree didn't have the potential to really get out of the laning phase, and they came out of the laning phase too weak, obviously, as we see. 16,000 gold, 15,000 XP, and it didn't really matter what kind of heroes they had, really. BMG were just going to completely exploit them with the heroes they had.
Oh, you see Kinesis. He's actually, a lot of burst damage from Kinesis coming out of Empath, but still not enough. As he is obviously only the level 6 mark. Ooh, they will at least kill Limp right there. Best Kraken in the world. Falling for the first time this game. And he buys back immediately. He's already ported back mid, and he's back to fight again. So that's, again, just living up to the style of how this game is being played. So unfortunately, that does mean this is probably going to end up being a quicker series here today, pending some absolute complete miracle, which is definitely not going to happen. But our second series, again, a doubleheader planned for today. There's actually going to be, there's actually going to be 2 series that are going to be going on. One's going to be this same Bad Monkey Gaming team. They're actually going to be playing Reason Gaming, a great series obviously there. But we're going to be casting CiC versus this same Willow Keepers team. And you know, you would like to think, and I believe it, this is just your case that PMG just simply played a lot better today. And we've talked about, when they're on top of their game, when they're all clicking, it's hard to even compete against them. And that's definitely, I think, the case here. I don't think it's that Willow Keeper just played horrendous by any means. So I'm definitely expecting them to have a better showing against CiC Esports. But at the same time, CiC is also one of those teams that, if they're all on the ball, very, very deadly, of course. So it's going to be interesting to see that next series and how that one plays out. Unfortunately, I don't believe you're going to be able to join for co-casting. But
no, I've got work, unfortunately.
Oh,
I would have liked to have been able to cast it, but yeah, it sucks. I was really looking forward to it, actually. I did get to cast a little bit here, but
yeah,
a little bit maybe of a lackluster game, but still not too bad.
I got something at least, but yeah, it's obviously just about over. So again, now the thing is, because this series went so quick here, they just dive in the well. That's when you know it's ridiculous. And an airstrike to kill players in the well. That's just adding to the stats right there. All right, so that is going to do it officially for game number 2, and thus the series, of course, as Bad Monkey Gaming will, well, safe to say, easily get the job done against Willow Keeper as they take them out 2-0. So again, really, it's kind of, you got a couple different battles going on here. You got Bad Monkey Gaming versus CiC Esports competing for that top spot as it was last season, and they're going back and forth. They still play each other one more time. Of course, the first time they played this season, BMG didn't win that series 2-0. But as it stands now, they're expected to play the last game of this regular season here, which is actually, they rescheduled it to this coming Monday. So it's even going to be going into the next week on that Monday. So that match could prove to be very, very important to get that number 1 seed. But then at the same time, you also have these the 3 and 4 of Recent Gaming versus Willow Keeper kind of competing against one another to see who's going to get that. And The Last of Us is hanging in there, but they are a little bit behind with not many more matches to go. So they're going to need some great matches to be able to have a chance. And of course, Shrek is Love. Unfortunately, they've been knocked out. But at the same time, getting some good experience. So, but again, with it only being 1 o'clock Eastern here, the next series is scheduled to happen in 2 hours from now. So, unfortunately, that does mean I'm going to have a little bit of a break here, and definitely going to be turning off the stream in the meantime before then. But before we do, Mini Maggot, as always, anything else to add? Any shout-outs here?
Not much to add. I was just wondering, who do you think is going to be the top 4 who's going to go into the Open, in your opinion? Who do you think is going to make it?
I mean, BMG, CiC, Reason, and Willow Keeper. I don't think unless I'm looking at it right now. The Last of Us, they have 6 points. They've played, 3, 4, 5 matches. Okay, I thought they had more. Willow Keeper has played 7 matches now, including this one, and they only have 9 points. So actually, I mean, it's going to be interesting between them and The Last of Us.
What's the matchups between Tree and The Last of Us? How did they pan out?
They played. Oh, you know what? They played them on Sunday, but I'm not sure how that result worked out because it's not updated on the site, to be honest. So,
okay.
I know that they played on Sunday, and I think did they play before? I'm checking right now. They did play before. They played the first week, and it looks like The Last of Us won that series 2-1. So, okay. And I personally, I've just been a little bit more impressed with the Willow Keepers play as a team.
Yeah.
But hey, I mean that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
That'd be close.
Yeah.
Have they got to play one more game against each other?
Well, again, I think they played on Sunday, so that would be the second match then.
Okay, so they've got no more games to play. So it's going to be dependent on how well they do in other games.
Exactly.
Okay, that's going to be interesting actually. Okay.
How that finishes off.
Yeah. Other than that, though, that was just. Thanks for having me, obviously. Shame I can't cast the next game, unfortunately.
Oh, wow.
That was it, though. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, though. Hopefully, it's going to be a good game. But yeah, I won't be able to join you, unfortunately, because I got to work.
Oh, well, real life calls. Understandable. But again, plenty more to come, I'm sure. So, all right. So again, like I said, guys, we are going to be wrapping it up here for now. Again, going to be going on a break, just under 2 hours. So unfortunately, a little bit longer, but just under 2 hours. We will be back though. What's going to be Willow Keeper versus CiC Esports. Again, Willow Keeper. I'm definitely expecting them to bring up a better showing against CiC Esports in the following series, but we'll see how they perform against CiC. Obviously, great team themselves. So on break for a couple hours now, but we will see you at 3 p.m. Eastern. That is 2100